we're back.
Hello.
We're back again by not popular demand. This is the Just a Couple of Bagels podcast with me, Tom.
And me, Sam.
We're back again. How the first one was all right, wasn't it?
It went well, it went quick.
It did go very quick. Let's hope this one won't go as quick because then we can fit a bit more in.
Yeah.
You can listen to our lovely voices. What have you been up to during the week then?
Sweating my ass off.
It has been very warm here in England.
Very. 29 degrees today. Crazy.
Ooh, it's been lovely. I mean, it's done wonders for my t-shirt tan.
Yeah, I was going to say, our t-shirt tan's going to go well out.
It's wonderful. I'm like a fab.
Yes.
You have that nice sort of white bit
Yes,
underneath.
yes.
It's not great. I think that's a testament to all tennis coaches who have a t-shirt tan.
Yeah. So, it's awful when you go to the beach on a holiday after a good few weeks.
You're just there going,
Oh, God.
I hope this evens out. It's not going to work.
No, it's awful. A week in Spain is not enough.
You need at least two.
Yeah, at least two.
It's two. And that's just to recuperate from all the kids that you've been teaching.
Oh, God. Yeah. Christ. We definitely need it. Right, so I think this week we said we're going to talk about the coach education system in England.
Yes, we did. Well,
our opinion on it.
If I was to give it a rating out of 10, I'd probably say about a 7.
Yeah, I'd say it's getting better. I think the problem is, I'd say if you went down south, I think a lot more people would say it's strong 7 to 8.
There is a lot more
going on there. I feel like up north it's improving, but like definitely around our area, there's not a lot.
No, and if you're wondering whether it is the Cheshire area, the Cheshire sort of northwest sort of area, there's not a lot. We have to go all the way to Lancashire, to Bolton.
Yeah, Leeds, Bolton. It's not too far, but in the grand scheme, and plus I find the courses that aren't as entertaining as the ones down south.
No.
I feel like we get a lot of the safeguarding courses, which are important, but they get boring.
How many more times can you learn how to do a register properly?
Yeah, business management stuff, which, it's all right for an hour, but when that's all you get, it's really boring.
I think I'm an expert in the cardio tennis course now.
Yeah, I was that expert.
That's a good point, Turner, though. I think it's about 6 points you get for that.
You do, yeah. So it's not bad when you get some good credits from it, but like I said, they probably should. I know they are doing work, but they need to do more of it.
You should look for that, because I know people can sometimes do like privately done ones, and they can still count towards it. I did one with strength and conditioning coach at Bolton, Howard Green, and that was quite interesting. It was only about 2 hours, and it was about 2 credits worth, but it was interesting. And I think things like that are quite good. There are a few ones you just got to look around, and you really got to look for them. You do,
yeah. You got to search, and obviously got the online ones as well now.
Oh yes.
Which, always nice when you just need 2 credits to get your accreditation. Where's an easy online one I can do? Just power over it.
Have you tried that? I've seen them, but I haven't really done one on the LTA where it's where you've got to be a line judge for umpiring.
I've seen them.
I've seen them. I want to try one. I'll see what it is.
I don't think I have the concentration to be a line judge.
All that pressure.
It's all that pressure now. I was watching the tennis rather than the line. So.
Right. Should we move on? What's been happening in the tennising world?
Tennising world, yeah. Obviously, Battle of the Brits started this week.
It's good. You've watched a bit. I've watched a bit.
Yeah, I watched bits on Amazon Prime. Still get used to watching stuff on Amazon Prime. Especially on my Wi-Fi.
1 point in. Have they stopped? No, it's just
buffering again. But yeah, apart from that, it's been good. It's been interesting. Obviously, really weird about a crowd. A black screen.
It is a bit weird. The weirdest thing actually is they've got to pick up their own balls, haven't they?
Yeah, it's like they're watching a junior match. Yeah.
Because Andy Murray was interviewed after his first one with Liam Brody.
Yeah.
And he says, and the interviewer just said, "So when was the last time you had to pick up your own balls?" He went, "About 17 years ago."
Yeah.
And it's just thinking like, to be fair, I don't think it worked too bad. The other thing that was quite interesting as well was because there was no ball boys, they didn't go to the towel as much.
No,
I noticed that. It was...
Yeah. I guess I don't actually pick up from that, but I guess so, looking back on it, yeah.
But what I have told you before, which is the one thing I did hate, is the squeaky chair.
I didn't pick up on that.
You didn't pick up?
No.
Every time they went for a changeover, you just had them sit down, you just hear a squeaky noise. It was horrible. Someone needs to bloody fix the chairs. Or they could just have plastic ones. But hey, I thought it was pretty good. But then the not so good bit is Mr. Novak Djokovic's tournament. Pretty much everybody who has done that tournament has got coronavirus.
Yeah.
He got it. I think Zverev had it. Dimitrov definitely got it.
Yeah.
Coric has got it. The only person who I believe who took part in it who didn't get it was Dominic Thiem.
Interesting.
And he's in the south of France now playing Patrick Mouratoglou's Ultimate Tennis Showdown.
Right. Okay. I think it's always risky because obviously the difference is like he's gone to different European countries. Battle of the Brits is just Britain.
But the other thing that I found was if you watched any of it, it looked like a normal tournament.
Oh right.
The crowds were packed. It was very sort of casual. Is the word I'd use. It wasn't particularly conscious about what was happening in the world.
Yeah, I think probably not the best idea for his publicity.
I admire him for doing it and trying to keep it as normal as possible and trying to get people to come and watch, but it just wasn't sensible.
No, I think Kyrgios is definitely.
Oh, he's gone off now. He didn't agree with tournaments anyway, sort of saying.
Yeah.
So I told you not to do it.
Well, he was right. Well, it's fair. Battle of the Brits, I say it's different.
It's very well controlled. It's all at the National Tennis Centre where it can all be controlled.
Exactly, yeah. So it's good. I like it. I mean, it's better than nothing. Obviously, it might, the problems now might arise for the US Open.
It does, because now they've got it. They're going to have to self-isolate, as everyone does, and make sure they don't get it. But they're not allowing fans into the US Open, which I think is the big difference.
I just think this travelling. The travelling is the problem.
People won't want to travel because I know day-to-day life, people are sort of like...
I also have to think about if they'll be able to get into the country. I know, like, obviously, US, especially with Trump in, is very strict with the borders. I know you let the UK in, so maybe Andy Murray can go and win.
No one else is there.
No one else is there.
Liam Brody can get to the
Liam Brody in the final. Imagine.
Oh, it was quite nice. Do you know what? That's the first time it's ever been one of those moments where you've met a tennis player. Because Liam came down when the tour stopped. He came down to David Luchila for a bit, and I saw him quite a bit down there.
Yeah, he's with Naomi, doesn't he? So.
So that was quite a weird thing. I've met you. I've talked to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's always cool.
It was, but yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I look forward to it a little bit more now because there's quite a few people I haven't seen. I haven't really seen much of Cameron Norrie.
No, I haven't watched him much. But he was a good player. There's a lot of promise there, I think, with Cameron Norrie.
Yeah.
Dad Evans playing well.
He's playing very well. Andy looked quite good moving around the court because that was the one thing I was sort of quite concerned about, whether he move around.
He's fit though, isn't he? You watched that documentary on Prime?
Yes.
It's crazy.
That's a great documentary. He's now the Bionic Man.
Yeah, he's crazy fit though.
It's the attention to detail. He even gives flack to his fitness coaches when he does things. Like if they do sprints with him, and he stopped. Do you remember the scene where they're doing laps up and down the beach? Stops, gets back, and Andy's down there. He's like, it's just like a teacher telling off a pupil who hasn't tried hard. He says, "That wasn't your best. It's clearly not your best.
Yeah.
You need to try harder." Oh dear. Coaching wise, have you done much?
I've started. My hours have started to pick up now, so I've had a few hours last week. This weekend,
you've got the groups, haven't you?
Got all my groups. I've got my groups back. Exciting. New groups. I was speaking to when I was waiting for one of my privates. I was plugging people. So I'm walking around Saturday.
You gotta get up.
You gotta get up.
You gotta know what a morning is.
Yeah. Well, I like it. I'm looking forward to it. I like my group coaches, group sessions. So.
There we go. Good stuff.
As long as they've got people and they're all right. As long as they listen.
As long as they listen.
As long as they listen in the bottom corner.
That's like hoping that we get consistent weather in this country. It's just probably not.
Yeah, I think it's the weather turns again, doesn't it? The weekend. So
you're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
Right. Shall we move on to the main subject of this podcast?
Yes, we probably should.
Coaching education. What a lovely thing. Coach Ed.
Yeah,
so I think it's different in different countries.
Yeah.
But the LTA one is recognised. It's got like the gold seal of approval from the ITF.
Yeah, it's recognised everywhere.
It's recognised everywhere. So there are 5 levels. We're both on the 3rd level.
Yes.
Which, to be fair, what's your opinion on judging people by levels?
I think as long as you got your level 3, then you got a pretty solid foundation. You can trust a coach at level 3. I think level 2. I've seen level 2s try and do private lessons before. Some of them are alright, but some of them you look at them and go, it's like shake your head and go, "What are you doing?"
The way that they're described with the level 1 and the level 2, for people who don't know, is it's a coaching assistant.
Yeah.
The level 1 is sort of to give you a foundation of things. How to it's mainly mini red based, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's all beginner, juniors sort of.
It's sort of how to help run a little mini red lesson and to help out with school stuff as well.
Yeah.
So it's like basic things of stages of a forehand or a backhand, how to progress it for a young person, fun little games, basically just a basic lesson plan for you to follow.
Yeah.
Level 2, you go into more sort of bigger groups, so it's more like with the mini orange and the mini green.
Yeah, a little bit more technical as well.
Yeah.
Only slightly. I mean, I think the bridge from level 1 to level 2 isn't a lot.
No, I'd say it builds on it, and
Yeah.
it just makes it, as you say, a little bit more complex and makes it a little bit wider. And the course is a little longer as well. I believe the first one is just a weekend, and then you come back and do things, and then it's 2 weekends? Yeah, 2 weekends and then your assessment.
And of course level 3, that's the big jump.
The level 3 is the big jump, is where and it's the big jump in price as well, because they're not cheap.
No, I was lucky. I was at Leeds Beckett because I was a coach in Bursa. I got a discount, so I got like half, like 50% off.
Look at you.
I know.
I think level 1 was about. This is when I did. I think the level 1 was about £200. Then it goes up to £400 for the level 2. So level 1 200, level 2 400, and then it jumps up to about £700 for your level 3.
Yeah.
And if you've got to do a play test, which I did, it's another £50. But then I was in the situation where I wasn't driving. I was getting 2 trains. It was exhausting. I'd be up at about 5:30 in the morning, get the first train from Macclesfield into Manchester. I then had to run from Manchester Piccadilly all the way to Victoria in the space of about 15 minutes.
You got the tram.
And then I got the second one from Victoria all the way to Bolton.
Yeah, rather you than me there. I was at university doing mine, so I was on my campus. So I just woke up, 5-minute walk up to. To be fair though, I was late for one session. So the story. Ooh. It was the night after the I think it was Star Wars: The Last Jedi premiere.
Oh, did you go and?
I went to the premiere and I was like, we're fine. Obviously, it's like a 2-hour film. So I got to bed at like 2:30 once I got home, and woke up. I was like, oh god, I'm late. So I was like half an hour late. I think it's snowing as well, so I couldn't even run because it was like black ice and all that. And I was trying to run. I was like doing little shuffles, and there's a big acre at my university where obviously it's grass, so it's bad. I just sprinted through the grass, which is snowy, so it's difficult. But yeah, so that was. I don't think
I was late once. For
I was only like half an hour, 45 minutes late, but I got the grief for it. I deserved. And rightly got the name.
Very much.
Got the name like C3PO for the day.
So, at least we know your group are good, top quality banter.
Yeah. So I mean, wasn't ideal, but funny looking back on it.
You live and you learn. What were your tutors like?
My level 1 and 2. All the tutors are amazing.
Because what was was there like a company that ran it, or was it just from the
so my level 1 and 2 are the same company. I think it's Impact Tennis with Stuart Twig.
Okay.
It's great. Yeah, it was really fun. I always found like level 1 and 2. Level 1, I think everyone passes. Yeah. I don't think there's much to it.
No, I think what you've got to show. I think the main thing that I saw from it is that you've got to show sort of an awareness of health and safety, an understanding of what you were teaching and stressing that.
Yeah.
And just making it fun. You had to show that. I think that was the main, because you were working with little kids.
Yeah.
You've got to show the enthusiasm to keep the interest from the kid.
Yeah, I think what helps as well is, I don't know about you, but I did a lot of like young leaders awards when I was in school.
Oh, okay.
So I already did a lot of coaching beforehand. Mm-hmm. So like going on to level 1, I knew the basic principles of coaching anyway. So.
Well, because how old were you when you did your level 1 and your level 2?
Level 1 you have to be 16, don't you? So I've been 16. And level 2, I think I did like a year later, 17. So
I think I did 1 a year. So it was like, I think it was 2017, did my level 1, 2018, did my level 2. Right. No, 2016 level 1, 2017 level 2, and then 2018 did my level 3.
Yeah, we did it at the same time, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good. My level 3 was through my university, Carnegie Sports.
Okay.
So yeah, I actually have a tennis coach doing it. It was actually quite good. Great coach, great tutor. But it's like when I went to do training, he'd always because you have situations, don't you,
Yes.
and all that. So he'd always talk to me like I was a coach, just so I was always ingrained. So I was always kind of learning with level 3.
Oh, that's quite good.
So I was constantly throughout the week, because I trained pretty much 5 days a week. In training, he'd say, right, you go onto that court and come my team, and I put them into a drill. So I was always practicing.
So you got practice in that.
I was
That was from
practicing.
your course tutor as well. That's quite good.
I mean, it was for you, it's different because obviously your tutor wasn't your coach.
Yeah.
But when you coached your tutor, I think it helped.
The difference I did mine with Inspire to Coach. I did all 3 of mine with Inspire to Coach. And to be fair, I didn't really have a problem with it at all. Level 1 and level 2, I think my tutor was a guy called Steve Turnbull.
Right.
I think he coached either Hull or Hull. He coached. And I really, I liked all my tutors, but he was a little bit more energetic. He was very honest, but he was very constructive. He'd always tell you how to improve it and what have you, and he'd always be open to questions, which is what they should be like, really.
Yeah.
And then in my level 3, I actually had 3 tutors.
Okay.
First one was a guy called Richard Marklow, which is most coaches who know of him through Inspire to Coach. I like to describe him as he acts like David Brent.
Right.
The way he walks around court
is
brilliant, and you might have seen this with the one that you did it with, but they have a certain way of it's a bit like your driving test. They have a certain way of teaching it. This is how you do it. This is how you pass it. It's basically you've got to jump through so many holes to pass it.
That's the only issue I have with the whole level 3 thing is you're basically taught how to.
You're taught how to pass the exam.
I mean, I was lucky with my coach that he did teach us really well. But he gets them putting the emphasis that this is how you have to pass the test. It might not be how you do it in the terms of real life, but this is the test. You got to pass it. You got to get these boxes ticked, which I had a bit of an issue with. Because for us, you obviously start off with a tiebreaker, which obviously you need to do to judge what your player and what the weakness is. But I've never have I since started off a lesson with a tiebreaker.
I was to say, but I've stuck to the principle because we got told it's like you warm up. Tiebreak, it's sort of that analysation of what he plays, and I probably might do a similar thing. I might do an extended rally if it's someone new, which I think is how they go about it in the test, because it's someone who you haven't played with. However, I did know the person who I ended up who I ended up being assessed with. I'm a level 3, but I follow that same principle of sort of like you do a warm up, you come in, you decide what you're going to work on, close practice. Development 1, development 2, open it up, then play the game at the end and see how it all went. You follow that basic principle. I think you sort of onto winner. You might not do 2 developments. You might only do 1.
Yeah.
But I think that was one of the main things that I took away, especially from my level 2 and the level 3, is that structure. And it's quite easy once you've got a structure in your head. It's quite easy just to plan things out. It's like I was speaking with a coach the other day. It was like, if you can remember this structure and you give someone like teach a slice backhand, as long as you've got that structure in place, it's quite easy just to bang off lessons left, right, and centre.
Yeah, no, true. Yeah, the basic structure's there, which is good, but I think it should be more open to having.
So the other person that we had on the course was a guy called Nick Lawrence, who was. I think he was by far and away the favourite person who I had on that course. He was brilliant.
Yeah.
He'd worked with Andy Murray as a junior. He'd worked with quite a few people.
Yeah.
He'd coached in Germany without even being able to speak one word of German.
Decent.
Which I find amazing.
Incredible.
That is amazing. And he made it more fun. He had that enthusiasm.
Right.
And it went off. It just made you want to listen. You were sort of there standing with your eyes wide open and just watching people. He was brilliant. And he did. The one thing I remember doing, he came up, put us all in the line. He sat there. He goes, "He's right. Who wants a lesson?" And picked one person, came out, and he literally asked the person, "What do you feel you need to work on?" And he just did it straight off there and then.
Right.
And then he came back, analysed it all, and said, "Right, you see how I've done this progression." So you could see it working.
Yeah.
So I thought that was quite a nice way. And the other one I had was Mark 10, because Richard ended up, I think he had to go to hospital or something for like knee surgery, so he didn't. So I had someone come in for the last module and then assess me, and that was Mark 10. And he was, I think he was probably say the bluntest of them all. He was just like, some of you are going to fail. Like you had this on level 3, where some of them are blunt and say some of you are going to fail and what have you. It sort of give you a kick up the arse and say, right, knuckle down this, because all the sort of terminology we had, like how to set up the lesson, all the court situations, and all this lot, going through it all, like all the notes that I'd made, you just sort of, I kept reading them until it was in my brain and you could put it into something. So I felt he was quite good for sort of, they all had their good qualities, but he was more sort of, right, this is serious, get on with it, which was quite good because he came in right at the end.
Yeah, I think at the end, you need that.
But the best thing, because I had 2 people who assessed me, I don't know about you, did you have 2 people? Did you have 1?
We had 1, and then, we had 1.
Were you able to get like any little hints of whether you had passed or not?
Yeah, Steve, obviously I knew the coach. My tutor was my coach, so he told me,
Oh, that's quite good. The one was because it was sort of like, do your assessment, off you go.
Yeah.
So I was sort of like, first one was a woman, Jo Hager, who was a lovely, lovely woman. And I came and I was like, how to do? And she sort of like, she just smiled and just gave me a thumbs up. I was like, yes, that's one done. Yeah. That was my individual, and that did my group. My group was a lot harder. Which did you find easier?
Well, I thought I found my individual easier than my group, but I actually failed my individual.
Oh yes, we'll get onto that later.
Technicality.
We'll get onto that later.
But actually, in my group, I remember when I was in my group. Luckily, there was only I had 3 in my group, so I had to feed in, which was fine. And one of the girls who was on my course was another person on that. Oh. Which she probably saved me too bad, because when we were starting it, I kind of choked and no words were coming out of my mouth. Oh. And I was there like, I kind of looked at her just like, just relax, she just kept calm. I remember when she was next to me as well, she just kept saying, you're doing well, just keep on going what you're doing. She's like, that angel on the shoulder decided to tell me, you're doing fine, just keep on breathing sort of thing.
I think I've got a weird thing. It's not sort of zoning out.
Yeah.
But if it's sort of like one of those high-pressured situations, I'm quite good at sort of forgetting they're watching me.
Yeah.
But in a group, the group one, it slips it. I think that's why I found it a little bit more challenging, because I had to do, I think my condition was, it was building on the serve in a double scenario.
Right, okay.
And I had going all well. And I think one of the criticisms is I talked a lot. But the reason I talked a lot is I had this old guy in the group.
Yeah.
And he just kept disputing everything I said. So it took me twice as long to say why I should do this.
That's and then not what you want, is it?
No.
That's not ideal for an exam. I think what we were looking at is everyone who was there knew it was an exam. Mm-hmm. So they kind of kept quiet and just
went along.
I think they had like a briefing before saying, don't be dicks. Just if you don't agree with something, just go on with it. You're getting free coaching, so just,
But yeah, after that one, it was Mark who had done my group one, and I saw him on the way out. I said, "Can you give me any little hint?" And he just gave me, he says, "I can't really tell you," but he smiled at me. You know when someone like gives you that smile, I said, "Hey, it was good."
Yeah.
And he passed. And I was like, "Yes." But to be fair, you can save yourself in that, because you have to do a review.
You do a review at the end, yeah.
You do a review at the end, and if you openly say that you made a mistake or I would have done this better.
Yeah.
You can save yourself a little bit, because one person did save themselves. I remember, because he said, "I've cocked up on this.
Yeah,
I can't believe I didn't do this bit." He'd forgotten to do. I think he'd forgotten to do part of the warm up or something.
Right.
Something along those lines. It was like a glaring thing he forgot to do.
Yeah.
And he mentioned it in his review, and it saved him.
Right. Okay, that's good.
Which was quite good.
Yeah.
So shall we talk about, because you had your little problem on your level 3. So what did they fail? Because if no one knows, when you do the pass criteria, you're not allowed to get a single thing wrong on it.
No.
You can have things left blank.
Yeah.
If you didn't demonstrate them or something.
Yeah.
But you've got to have all ticks.
Yeah.
So can you remember what it was?
I think the primary one was my timing was off. So from obviously you have different progressions, don't you?
Yeah.
I had my progression from hand feeding to rally ball was too slow, which obviously then. But the thing is, I can't remember exactly the ones that I got. It has a domino effect. If you get one wrong, it kind of dominoes. Like you can't do too much about it. Like it's like groups it all together. But then primary one was my timing, which I think is harsh.
I think that's slightly harsh because was the person struggling to progress from one to the other?
I can't remember exactly now. I can't remember it. But I had a half decent player to be fair. Very capable of rallying, but obviously you got to show the progression. So I did the hand feeding. And maybe from the examiner's point of view, was because he saw that the player was capable, I stayed on it too long.
Ah, okay. So
but,
if it had been the case where the person was struggling on it, and then, like, say in the review you put in, I didn't feel like the person was progressing well. I thought he was struggling with it.
Yeah.
Then you could sort of say, well, I couldn't develop it because if I developed it, it wouldn't have benefited the player.
Yeah, I think I kept my individual lesson basic. I think I was pretty certain it was like backhand cross.
I think mine was pretty similar.
I was determined not to do anything complicated.
Oh no, you could, because the one other thing that I liked how a person is that little checklist of analysing a player.
Yeah,
I found that really helpful. Where it's almost like a little pyramid you go down.
I mean, there's a way. I think it's easy to cheat because basically all I did was nice soft balls in his forehand, powerful on his backhand, so he automatically cocked up his backhand. Because I knew I wanted to teach backhand.
You played the system.
I knew I wanted to do backhand, I knew I wanted to do it cross. I knew if I hit it hard at his backhand, he wouldn't be able to control it, he'd probably hit it late.
Yeah.
He'd be going down the line, just giving us like...
There you go.
And then obviously when you do your rally at the end, you slow your own ball down so he has time to hit so it looks like he's done better.
Oh, you see, I did it honestly, and
as my tutor would say, it's the dark arts.
Arts.
That
is the dark arts of it.
You got to play the system. Obviously, the system then played me back with the timing. I was too busy trying to manipulate the system that I forgot about my timings. But basically, you probably don't know this, but when you do fail, like obviously I passed my group, which I thought to be the way around because my nightmare at the start of my group session. I thought I passed my individual when I did it. I did great. And when I did my group, I was like, oh, I've done this wrong. But anyway, I passed my group. And then like basically what happens is you get an email saying, oh, sorry, you failed, please talk to your tutor. I was like, oh, what? So I went to Steve, and he was like, yeah, what you've heard was quite a minor thing. So basically got to talk to them, and they'll either tell you to wait like 6 months and build on what you've learned and just keep on training, or just say, go for it. And you went, yes, just go, do it.
Because minor things like that, timing's quite easy. I mean, you could literally have just had your watch there, time it's like, oh, this time, move on.
Yeah, and basically when you do a reset, you don't have to, all you have to do is get a tick in the boxes that you got next.
Okay.
So basically, I could have done the crappiest feeding in my life as long as I've got the progress in.
As long as your timing is fine.
All I had to worry about was my timing. I could have fed from court 3 courts down and still technically have passed.
You could have just gone like this with your eyes closed and just gone, I'm feeding it everywhere.
Yeah. And like instead of teaching him a backhand, but teaching him a serve instead because I've already got them 6 in the box. So again, it's not a flaw in the system.
That's another thing that I felt with that is if you follow that system, you're hardly ever going to really do a lesson on serve.
Our tutor said never. Obviously, won't want the serve, but you only do a serve in a serving lesson in an exam if the examiner tells you to.
Okay.
I don't know if you got told that, but so we obviously you do your serving and your modules, but he said obviously you don't pick up and do the serve because basically the serve from like I think a lot of coach point of view is it's your last session of the day after a long week. It's 9 o'clock at night. You're like just a good hour of serving it.
Now I've tweaked the lesson plan slightly, so I'll follow the lesson plan that I was given on my level 2 and my level 3.
Yeah.
However, I'll probably stick to how the timing almost is over without putting the game in.
Yeah.
And I'll focus on, say, forehand, backhand, volley, something like that. But then I always leave like 20 minutes for them to do something on serve. So they can do serving every lesson.
Serve is really important. I don't think enough coaches actually do it. A lot of coaches leave it to the last 5-10 minutes of a lesson. And then when the player is serving, it's like they don't actually watch the player serve. It's like, yeah, it's good. It's not. There's a lot of poor serves out there.
Oh, yeah.
I think technically, like the thing with the serve is the one thing players can do on their own, and they don't because it is quite boring.
I find there's two ways of teaching the serve, and I'd be quite interested to know which one you go with. You can either break it down, so shorten it,
Yeah.
or the way that I do it, which is I find a little bit more beneficial, is people if I keep the same motion,
Yeah.
but I simplify the action. Does that make sense? So, like, say if you've got an already serving motion, get them to start off doing that because then you've got a basis of what they're doing. But then you could do something like, instead of getting the hitting, just like say if the ball toss was wrong, do the same action.
Yeah.
But just get them throwing the ball up and catching it and things like that.
Right. I think I'm going to give you a very political answer here and say it depends. Because I mean, I think from an adult's point of view, you can probably break it down a little bit. Again, it's hard to say because obviously adults are stuck in their habits, so you need to break it down. Because sometimes with adults, is they don't dig for like 20 years.
Very true.
They've got something ingrained into them, and you need to literally break down that serve to get it, to literally unpick it all. But I had a junior, because normally with juniors, I don't know. I got this junior, maybe he was a yellow ball when I got him, so I didn't know him prior, and he got taught the 1, 2, 3 hit.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't know what the coach has done with him, but he taught him that, but he didn't teach him the timing of it.
Okay, so what was his timing?
All jagged. So when he hit.
Oh, so it wasn't fluid.
Wasn't fluid. So you could see he was going through the motion. So it was 1 stop, 2, 3, then hit. So he was hitting on technically. So 4.
Technically, his was already.
There was no
disconnected.
Yeah, it wasn't connected. There was no motion to it. It was all very robotic. Yeah. So it was 1 here. So I obviously wanted to. I was like, right, this isn't working for you because you're out of time. You're out of sync here. So I changed it to a 1-2 system where it was 1, 2 hit.
Okay, so you changed.
So I did it too because he was doing all this counting. I was like, you're just making this all far too complicated. You need to get your arm behind your neck, like tick position. Okay, and then from 1, your next number 2 is 2 hit, which also helps timing. It's what a grunt is. If you grunt a hit, it's obviously your timing. So he was hitting 1, 2 as he hit the ball. He found the timing was just so much better.
Okay.
But he had this 1, 2, 3, 4 motion going, and I was like, gotta stop that. It's fine if you time it, but it was all robotic.
Do you ever I'm sure you probably get it, because the action for a serve is quite hard to muster, because it's 2 of your limbs going in opposite directions.
Yeah.
Because I find the easiest thing to tell if a person can grasp the serve quite easily is literally get them sort of getting their arms moving in opposite directions.
Yeah,
it's really hard to show when you can't see.
The issue with the serve as well is it's all above your head.
Yeah.
Everything else, forget smashes, but everything's ground in front of you. The serve is all above you, so it's
Yeah, the main thing I find, which I was alluding to then, with the arms crossing over, is you find people sort of throw the ball and put the racket up in the same place. So they'll go like this.
Yeah,
so they'll put both hands up in the air. They don't separate their arms.
Yeah, it needs to be separated. But yeah, it's I've always struggled with my serve, even as a junior. My serve was always my weak point. I did a lot of work on my serve when I was in university.
What did I do? Yeah, I struggled with it quite a bit, but I can't remember what it was. But I remember at one point it literally clicked. I don't know if there was a point where I got to a certain height and it was all right, but it could have also been the point of when I was meant to be doing my GCSEs. I went to the tennis club and just did a load of serving.
Yeah, I think it's all practice, isn't it?
Serving is something that you've got to repeat constantly, otherwise you do lose it.
Oh yeah, I've lost since I come back from university. My consistency of my serve has gone a little bit, but it's still it's not bad. If you saw my serve, actually, if you saw my whole game before I went to university, my coach is
because you were playing 5 times.
Yeah, so it's improved so much. It was ridiculous. Like even though I wasn't like the best player in the world, my game has improved dramatically.
That's why if a child or someone has got the drive to do it, I reckon if you can do it more than once a week, it's great. It's the equivalent of like a kid going to school.
Yeah.
And he said, right, we're going to do English today, but this is the only time we're going to do English in the whole week. We're only going to do it for 1 hour.
Yeah.
On a Monday. Every week. It's like, so they've learned the whole thing.
Yeah.
A week later, that's another God knows how many hours, and they've forgot it.
I think that's what you get. Yeah, you get a lot with that with juniors, especially juniors who aren't interested. You get them 1 hour or something a week, especially when they're in groups, and because they haven't got to practice, otherwise you just forget, and they've forgotten it. So you're back to square one. But the problem with groups is you had to move on. You can't. You get like 10 minutes with them max.
Yeah, the way that I always like to explain, and I did this at Lloyd's, because you make your money from your private lessons, not from your group lessons, or you used to. That's what I would divulge on that subject for the moment.
New topic. New video.
When people always ask me about private lessons, I'll always say, if you think of it from a group point of view, there may be 6 people in your group, and you say you've divided the price of your hourly fee or whatever. That percentage is the amount of time you get with a coach. If you pay for 100% of the coach's fee, you're getting 100% of your child or person helping you and being involved in you getting better.
Yeah.
That's why. But then again, I think you've got to have a mixture of both. I always went on the sort of 3 bases. You have a private lesson, you have a group lesson, so you get used to playing with other people, and then you just have a hit where you can just play tennis.
Yeah.
And just relax and just have fun.
Show your match play in there as well.
Yeah,
match
play in there.
Match play is always different. It's, but yeah, I think I'd love my private lessons. I love my group sessions, but you have to link them together. Like I was lucky in when I had my group lessons and my coach was the same. I think it's a problem at Lloyd's is, which I've sometimes found, is my private coaches
completely different.
Never did my group lessons. So I always thought there was that disconnect. I always found like when my group coach would be like, when I had the same coach, he'd see me in a group and say, right, like you worked on that in a private lesson. What do you do? It's like a quick reminder. When you like had a coach who's completely different, they don't know your game. And it's difficult. It's good to get different ideas from different coaches, but you need consistency as well.
Yeah, I'm quite fortunate because most of the people that I've picked up, most of the kids that I've picked up from Lloyd's are ones from groups that I've taught.
Yeah, I don't know if it's changed now. Obviously, when I was a junior there, when I first joined, I got given my coach. So I don't know what it's like now. My coach is given to me.
The person just seeks out the coach that they want.
Oh right, okay. I remember I actually got. I don't know what happened, but I had my main coach. Always had it called Rick Wally. Always had him, and then even when I still had him, Lloyd's were giving me more coaches. So I had a guy called Paul. I don't know if he still works there now.
Scouser.
He's got a bald head.
Paul Rogan. Yes, Paul Rogan. He's still there.
I had Paul Rogan for a bit, and then I had a guy called Charlie, who was a La Manga coach. He came from La Manga. He was and I saw him. I was like, "What are you doing here?" But I used to have him in La Manga. So he used to do my group sessions in La Manga. I was like, "Oh, I've come back to England." I was like, "Crazy," but okay. So I started having him. So I had Rick, Paul, and Charlie, which none of them did my group lessons.
That's a bit of
a pick. And then Rick left, and Charlie went back to Spain. Can't blame him. And then I kind of left after all that.
That is tough. I mean, I think I may be wrong, but I think 2 coaches is probably the max that you need.
Yeah. And
they've both got to be sort of on the same wavelength. And
Charlie, I know Charlie and Rick definitely. I think they've got quite close together. Like they're quite close friends.
How would you describe the teaching style, or how they wanted you to?
With me, they both knew I'm a hard worker. Okay. In terms of, I want to be running around court. I want to come off court dead, pretty much. Yeah. So it was all rally based. We did a few hand feeding drills, but it was mainly all rally based. Get me moving around the court. My whole game's my game's not power. It's all about fitness. But I'll just run a person off court rather than powerfully hit a winning shot down the line. I don't have that in my repertoire. Big word.
There you go.
But yeah, I always had the fitness aspect in me to win a game, which I did. I think the majority of I'd say 70% of my matches that I won on fitness. Since I knew I could always outrun a player. And, I won't get as tired as quickly.
Yeah, but you grind it out, which is why you like going on clay courts, because it's a slower game, and you can grind people out. You have to construct your shot a lot more on clay rather than if you're on a hard court or an astro or even carpet. It's a lot slower paced, and you can. To be fair, it's a lot better, I feel, for juniors to learn on clay. Because one, it's a slower ball, so the timing can be improved, the technique can be improved, but also the sort of the court, your point structure is a lot better as well. Because it's not as if I can absolutely whack a ball and hit it past you. I've got to be able to say, right, I can drag you out wide, and then as you're coming, I can hit it back there again. Or all these different sort of patterns of play.
Yeah. So the first service I learned on was clay because I learned in Spain. I just did a holiday camp in Spain. That's where I learned, and they took us on the clay. So I was quite late to tennis in terms of I started when I was 12.
Okay.
But the first service I played on was yellow ball, clay. So I was hitting the ball above my head all the time, and it was proper Spanish sort of coaching in terms of straight into there. Give me the big racket, yellow ball, off I went. I loved it, and then obviously I just learnt to love clay. Came back to England.
I don't think you've seen this, but
low ball Astro.
Some videos came out of Novak Djokovic when he was 4 years old being taught to play tennis, and it was with a yellow ball, and it was like, it's moved on so much.
I think it's still in Spain a little bit now as well.
It's getting there because I know there's still a few countries who don't follow the mini system.
In Spain, they follow. Definitely where I'd learnt in Spain now. They drop back onto green and red ball and all that. They do that now, 100%.
One that's come from Belgium that's now come here is blue.
Oh yeah, blue. Yeah, new one.
Have you seen the blue balls?
I haven't seen them, but I've heard about it all. I think it's stage too far. I don't need it all.
I don't think it's worth the while. The only thing that I came from because the blue ball is covered in this blue plastic paint.
Yeah.
It just stopped kids picking at balls.
Right. Okay.
So
don't care. Not a problem. Don't care.
Have you got any funny stories from your level 3 or any of your levels?
Well, I told you about my missed
your missed session.
It wasn't a missed hour at tops. Funny session, just
55 minutes.
I mean, I loved the disability section.
Oh yes,
it was absolutely brilliant.
I found out that unfortunately, if I lose the function of my lower limbs, I've got wheelchair tennis to back it up on. I loved wheelchair tennis.
It was fun. Tennis. It was so much fun. And the thing is, you have to do that the way they hit their backhand, strange. Because I always thought it'd be like a one-handed backhand like we do. And it's like the forehand, but
it's
this. And I was like, oh, right, that's new. And
it's unbelievably weird.
Yeah, but I can't. Funny stories. No, but I just loved all my levels. And they're brilliant.
Did you have that one person in your group who sort of thought they knew better than the instructor?
Not really. No. I think 5 of the people on my level 3 were from the university, so they knew Steve already. And then Stephen McLaughlin, he's known pretty much quite well known in the UK, so everyone kind of knew who he was. And everyone in the group was really nice. Everyone just got on with each other. There was no if you didn't know something, it wasn't like you laughed at them or something. It was everyone helped each other. It was all everyone dragged each other through.
Yeah, it
was nice. It was quite a nice click together. No, there was no one who thought they were better than they were. Everyone knew that. Everyone here right now is a level 2 coach. Everyone needs to learn how to come level 3. There was no I'm like a first team player or anything. I know I know how to play tennis, so I know how to coach. It's not like that. So it was nice. Everyone got on. And everyone helped each other. So
mine was slightly different. I think they broke, like most things, it breaks down to little cliques and little groups.
Yeah, it's everything.
And there was one, I know from going from my level 2 to my level 3, there was 3 or 4 people who I did my level 2 and my level 3 with.
Yeah. Which
was quite good. But there was the odd person. There was one person who you and I both know who also failed his exam. Who constantly would question, constantly question the tutor on the smallest things. Even when everyone was like, yeah, I completely agree with that, he would just question it. I feel like for the sake of questioning it and what have you. And it resulted in a little bit of a falling out, but I won't go into that and cause controversy. The other funny one, I can't remember the name of the guy it was, but he wasn't ready. He wasn't very good at tennis to start off with. And he'd paid for it. And because Bolton Arena is where it was, is in quite sort of the middle of nowhere, really. Yeah. So people stayed at the hotel next door to him.
Okay, yeah.
This guy literally got told after it's either the first or the second module, you will not pass this.
Right.
You will not pass this whatsoever.
Yeah.
And he didn't come back.
Okay.
However, apparently, according to people, he still kept coming to the hotel because he couldn't bear to tell his partner.
Oh, no.
That he wasn't going to do it. So Kate kept up the illusion.
Oh, no. That's not good.
No, It really
So there's
was.
none of that on ours. It was all everyone got on well. And so we had a laugh at each other. It was fun.
To be fair, it was quite fun.
I think the worst thing about it was the VRQ, whatever it's called, that you had to do in between the coursework.
Oh yeah, was yours like handwritten or was it
online? Oh my god, it's just an absolute ball.
Did you have to do like a 10-week lesson?
We're lucky our tutor forced us to do it. He didn't let us leave it till the end. He gave us sections that we had to do. Because he said the worst thing you're going to do here is leave it all to last week. You need to do this, and you need to do this section now, this section after this module. And by the time you get to the last week, you've done it. Because the last thing you want to do in the last week while you're preparing for your assessment is worrying about
all the coursework you got to do.
Yeah.
I felt I was... Because from A-level and GCSE, I had quite coursework-based subjects anyway, so I thought, right, if I get on with this, it's a lot easier. So I sort of kept going through it. Like, I organised who I was going to do my 10 sessions with quite early. Got all the lesson plans out, so it was quite easy to get it all in. But the good thing is that if something was slightly wrong, the tutor would just look at it and say, right, this needs to be
exactly. Our tutor did that. So just change this, and this, and then it was fine.
But I know what you mean. It wasn't
fun.
It was a pain in the arse.
It was not fun to do at all. But I guess that's part and parcel of it.
Yeah, the main thing I thought I didn't there was bits I did enjoy with the levels, and there was bits that I learned, and that I'm quite happy that I learned it then.
Yeah.
But I always found doing these levels as a means to an end.
Yeah.
You may not particularly enjoy it, but if you get it done with it, it'll benefit you in the future.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Which is why I get with it.
Yeah, right, well.
Shall we move on to future levels, which we haven't done?
Yeah.
So we're on level 3, so there's level 4 and level 5. However, there are 2 different types.
Yeah, so you get your level 4 head coach and level 4 performance coach.
It's called they're called senior. It says senior head coach and then senior performance.
And it's the same for level 5 as well. I think if you go down your level 4 performance, you do your level 5 performance.
They're called master
coaches, and then you get your the head coach.
You got a master head coach and you got a master performance coach.
Yeah.
The head coach one is more accessible to people. I know that because I've looked into them.
Yeah, I think for master performance you need to have a national standard.
Just see if I can bring it up, and I can just see if I can get this up. So for the senior club coach, it is aimed for people who are running a section of a commercial club,
right,
or running a team of coaches.
Yeah.
Which is quite straightforward. The performance one, the level 4 one, is aimed for coaches who work full-time in performance environment with 10 to 14-year-old junior national players.
Right, okay.
I looked at both of them and I felt the course for the performance one would be a lot more interesting, and I think would be a lot more beneficial for how you teach and your knowledge of teaching tennis.
Yeah.
The hard thing is you've got to get those players to get on it.
Yeah.
There are ways around it where you've got to write to certain people in certain areas of the LTA to get on it.
Yeah.
However, it is just really, really hard to get on it. And I've looked at the course because I think you can only go through the LTA as well to get on it.
Yeah.
It's all down south, which we've talked about. However, there are bits where you go and watch a national junior championships in another country, which I think would be a great experience to go and look how kids from other countries are taught and how they play. I think it'd be brilliant. And that's why I do like the look of it, but I just think it's very hard for people to get hold of national players and teach national players unless you've put in the graft.
Yeah.
With someone from Mini Red.
Yeah.
All the way up to it. It'll take a long time.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I guess level 3 opens enough doors.
Yeah, I know plenty of really, really good level 3s.
Yeah.
Who I'd consider to be of a higher standard than a level 3. And I don't think many people really look at the level. I mean, great story. I think it's he's an English coach. He's about 25. He's called Tom Hill.
Yeah.
And he was a good junior player. He went out to America for college tennis.
Yeah.
and he ended up hitting with American girl Sophie McKinnon, is it?
Not too sure.
Young American pro, and started hitting with her.
Right.
And after the hit, she said, like, I quite like hitting with you. I quite like having the feedback and all this sort of thing. And she's like, do you want to be my coach? And I don't know what his background is. I'll have to look into it. And I'd like to sort of get into contact with him and ask him all these things.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering what coaching background he's got. Because he seems to be doing a good job, because he's teaching a young Greek girl at the minute.
Yeah.
And it seems to be going really well for him. He seems to be very highly regarded.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can go from all different sorts of
Oh,
backgrounds.
yeah, 100%.
But then I think it is good to do it. I think level 4 is sort of the base where you can sort of say, right, I'm up to a certain standard. I recognise as a certain type of coach.
Yeah, 100%. I think level 3 is definitely the one to aim for.
It opens the most doors.
Yeah, it does. Gets you where you want to go in life with coaching. So, yeah, 100% level 3 is where it's at.
It is.
I think.
What do you think of level 5s?
I think obviously the performance level 5 coaches are great. They're amazing. Level 5.
Have you met any?
Yeah.
Performance coach?
Yeah, my tutor.
Your tutor?
Yeah, my tutor was an level 5 coach. And obviously he coached me as well. He's probably the best coach. I'd like to say definitely one of the best coaches I've ever had. Every word he said, he listened to. He was very much every word.
Because I'm presuming your tutor was like a mentor sort of thing.
Yeah.
Mine was a really, really good coach, David Lloyd, which was Simon Thornywell, who's a level 5 performance coach. And I thought he was brilliant with the way he handled this and all this sort of thing. I did have another mentor. I had 2 mentors.
Yeah.
I had Simon Thornywell and I had Brent Parker as well. Brent Parker's a level 4 performance, but he's of level 5 standard. He just chose not to do it.
Okay.
I don't think you particularly need to do it, because if you look at it, it's time away from players.
Yeah, exactly. Money.
It's money. You're losing quite a bit of money going away with all these things, and the cost of the course as well.
Oh, yeah.
But there were certain things, little tips, and just how people acted around court. I mean, still to this day, I'll sit on court with other coaches, watch how they coach, and you pick up certain things.
Oh, 100%.
Every coach has different ways. Coach.
Yeah, different coaches have different ways of coaching, and you just pick up what you want to pick up. So, yeah. But yeah, I think.
The only other thing I would add is a bit like a driving test. Is after you've passed the test, you do most of your learning.
Yeah, 100%.
Out there doing stuff and watching other people.
You do. You might have drills I picked up from just watching a coach do it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was like a good drill. I'm gonna nick that.
The main thing is, I'll nick that.
Yeah, I'll be doing that one next.
You will be. I reckon you'll be able to go around most coaches, and they'll be able to think of about 5 things that they've nicked off another coach.
Oh, 100%, yeah. But no, it's learning on the job. 100%.
Yeah, you've got to be given the opportunity to sort of be able to make mistakes. Well, it's like with any job, really.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to make mistakes. Learn. The important thing is learning from the mistakes, identifying when something doesn't work and when something works really well, and say, all right, I'm keeping that, I'm going out of it.
Yeah.
But then again, it's different things for different people.
100%, yeah. Right, well...
the final topic, which we're going to do anything but tennis, is your last meal.
Last meal.
Last meal. Unfortunately, Sam, you are going to pass away tomorrow. What would your last meal be? And we've narrowed it down, so you've got a starter, you've got a main, you've got a pudding, and you've got a drink. Which one would you like to go with?
So drink, I'll go drink. Drink, I love Coke, so I'll Coke.
Go with the Coke.
Love my Coke. Starter. I don't really eat starters, but probably not garlic bread. I know I'm very basic here, but I don't eat starters. So garlic bread, but main fillet steak, rare fillet steak. Get the blood, get the juices.
I like it.
And then chunky kind of chips.
Where it's like crispy on the outside.
Yeah, very like that. Very much like that.
Anything else with it?
Yeah, I'm gonna have mashed with it as well. Love a bit of mashed potato.
That's a lot of carbs in there.
I don't care.
You got chips and you got mashed potatoes.
I'm going out.
This is your last meal. You're going out in style.
Yeah, and then pudding. Love chocolate fudge cake, custard. With ice cream as well.
Do you have it warm or cold?
Warm. It melts in the middle.
That's nice. You could just lie back in a chair and have that.
Yeah. What about you?
Me, I will go with drink. I'm gonna go with some sangria.
Okay, you're going alcohol.
I'm going alcoholic because it doesn't matter. I first had sangria on a lad's holiday.
Yeah.
And thank God the person who introduced me to it because it is one of the nicest drinks and most drinkable drinks, I will admit.
It is nice sangria.
It is lovely, especially on a day like it is now, where it's blue skies, lovely, about 28 degrees. You just have a jug of sangria, it's lovely. Starter, what will I go with starter? I will go with, I'm going to go very Chinese based on that.
Okay.
I would have a chicken and sweet corn soup.
Right, okay.
And it has to be Chinese style chicken and sweet corn
Okay.
soup because it is lovely. And I'd have some prawn crackers.
No, prawn crackers, yeah. Gotta have prawn crackers.
Prawn crackers with it. You just leave it in where it goes slightly soggy and then take it out before it just mushes and goes. My main, that's quite hard. I'm not going to go with something Chinese because I think that's just a little bit boring. I'm going to go with gammon and egg.
Right, okay.
Gammon and egg and chips.
Okay, fair enough.
That'd be lovely. It was a close call because it was a toss-up between gammon and egg or like a proper restaurant-style burger where it's it's about 20 centimetres high. Yeah. But I'm going with gammon and egg because it's basic, and I have to have a bit of pineapple. I will admit.
Oh, no.
Bit of cut pineapple on it is lovely.
Right, okay. No, fair enough.
Chips start. I wouldn't have them proper chunky.
Okay.
I'd probably just have a little, where sort of they're not thin, but they're not chunky chips.
Okay,
It's like a bit in the middle where it's a little bit more crispy.
Yeah.
It's a bit like more like bit like chip shop.
Okay,
chips,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Can't get wrong with that, yeah.
And then for the pudding, I'll have to go with a tiramisu.
That's fair enough.
I love a tiramisu.
Okay, that's interesting, but yeah.
It's quite alcoholic based.
Very different to mine, but yeah, it's good. I'm more exotic than mine. It's very basic.
I'll have mine, you have yours.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
As the famous saying goes, Joey doesn't share food.
Exactly.
I'm terrible for that.
I hate it.
It's just like I build a castle around all my food so no one can have it.
Yeah, it's my food. If you wanted it, you should have ordered it. That's my motto.
There's another little one from Gavin and Stacey, but we won't go into that.
No. Anyway, yeah, it's been a good sesh.
That brings the end of the podcast.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed it.
Yes, we hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like it, please give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Share it with people as much as you can. Hopefully they'll love it as much as hopefully you did.
Yes.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Yes.